Hello. So my name is Tabor. So I'm glad to meet with you again. I know this can be a little frustrating, but thank you for meeting with me through the telehealth. I really just wanted to kind of continue this treatment so we can just kind of work on some things together. So how are you today?
I'm okay. How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm good. We're just getting through the days. Um, so just kind of start it off. So I know that you are coming to see me for alcohol use, and you're just kind of wanting to work on it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, since it's through telehealth, I'm just kind of going to read this to you and then we can work on it together since you won't be able to see the worksheet. But I will try to explain it as best as I can. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask. Um, so, it can be difficult for people to stop drinking when they enter treatment. And so, we're just kind of go through some reasons for this and just talk about some of those exact reasons.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. So triggers for alcohol use are everywhere for someone, and it's sometimes hard to do anything social without facing people who are drinking, because that's kind of a thing that's just for everybody. It can be very normal for people over 21 specifically. So, how do you feel like you can get together with your friends or family like you were before without drinking?
It's pretty hard. I grew up with my whole family drinking. Someone has a baby, everyone gets drunk. Someone has a birthday, everybody gets drunk. It's Labor Day, it's payday, whatever, everybody gets drunk. And a lot of the friends I've made over my life are drinking friends. So I think one of the things that I'm learning I have to do is, meet new people through the sober community.
Right. Okay. Do you feel like you would be able to continue to see your friends or family members that continue to drink? Or do you feel like that would maybe be a negative influence on you?
I don't know. I think completely isolating myself from everyone I've ever known, like all my good drinking friends and my family. I think that is also triggering because I get triggered when I'm really isolated.
Mhm.
So I try to kind of ask people ahead of time if they would be okay with not drinking.
Okay. How do you think that what would be some of your like thoughts or emotions you would feel if like you went to a social gathering with them and they were drinking?
I think that I mean, obviously I'd want to drink with them. It would kind of be like old times, but it can't be because I got in trouble. So I think I would just be thinking, man, that sounds really good.
Right. So you'd have a lot of mixed emotions kind of going on with that. You want to see them, but you would just feel like triggers and emotions of wanting to fall back into that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Definitely.
I understand that. So many people they can use alcohol to response to some internal triggers. So if you're upset, stressed, angry, just kind of what you're feeling and thoughts and emotions. Depression, anxiety usually go away for people when they drink, and that can usually be a reason for people to drink just to kind of shove those feelings down.
Mhm.
And it's difficult for people to realize that sometimes alcohol can be the cause for depression or anxiety, and it can actually increase it. So, talking about that, what are some moods and feelings that make you want to drink? What are some triggers, as we call it?
I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head right there when you talked about depression. I think when I'm, like I said, when I'm isolated, I feel alone. Um, Also, if I'm really mad, basically any kind of feeling that I don't feel like I can control. So if it's something that I feel like the only way to get this tampered down and to go away is to drink.
Right. So, you feel like drinking, you have control of the situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
even though I don't, because I mean, once I have a drink, I don't have control, and I don't have control over what I do or say, or how many drinks I have, or how I feel the next day.
hmm
But at the time, it feels like a control.
Would you say that you start to feel anxious before drinking?
I get kind of an anxiety if I get around people who are kind of partying. I get this kind of built up anxiety where it's kind of like, it's almost like I'm amping myself up, like the pre high or the pre drunk.
Right.
Um, Yeah, I mean, it's kind of anxious. It's like a positive and negative anxious at the same time.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Definitely. So, alcohol can affect the rationale, which is the thinking part of the brain. It can kind of blur lines of what is appropriate and what's not for actions, feelings, thoughts. And it can be difficult to think reasonably about a substance that makes thinking clearly more difficult. So, it's very hard to think about maybe your safety or the right decision to make whenever you are under the influence. So, how do you think it feels to maybe be sober at a party, for example, and watch people drink and act stupidly? I know you said that you feel isolated. Are there any other like things that you feel or some emotions if you're watching other people do things maybe you did like a year ago?
I think if I get past the I want to drink right now, if I could get past that phase, I would see, I think I would be kind of embarrassed because I would see some of the stupid shit that I was doing when I was drinking. I would see people doing that and acting that way. And I know that from a sober, healed mind, that that kind of stuff is going to look ridiculous.
Right. Well, I think that's definitely a big step for you to recognize and maybe where you were at and where you're at now and just see that
Hmm.
there is definitely a boundary and a line and those they're crossing it and you are taking the next step to better yourself. So I definitely applaud you for being so insightful. So I hate to cut this short, but so far you have done great and I would love to pick this up next time, okay? Any other
Okay.
questions?
Nope. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.